Hello! Today I'm going to give you a relatively quick rundown of open broadcast software and how you would use it with YouTube live streaming or live events or whatever you want to call them. First off, if you're trying to, this is your first time running it, I should say, and you're trying to set up your scenes, you'll need to click Preview Stream before you can actually use the Edit Scene button. You can also set up global sources and things like that and whatnots, but what we're here for mostly is to go over the settings. So you click settings and oddly enough there's another button that says settings. Click on it and you'll have settings. General, doesn't really matter. You can set up custom stream profiles and you can swap between them, but generally most of the time most people will be just using the one profile. Encoding, I like to set it at 10. This is, if you use XSplit, this is similar to the quality. So you can run it 8, 9, or 10. They'll all be really good quality. You probably won't be able to tell the difference. And the max bitrate will be dependent on the resolution you are running at. If you are running your stream at 360p, I recommend you have at least 600 kilobit per second upload. Or, sorry, bitrate. You'll probably have one megabit per second upload to run 360p. If you're running 720p, I would recommend a max bitrate of at least 2000 kilobits per second. That should be sufficient to run those at decent quality. Obviously, you could run 360p at 2000 kilobits, but that's not going to do a whole lot of good. Either way, codec, AAC, it's just what I always use. And then bitrate, 96 will save you if you have some low upload limitations and stuff like that. You can use 96, it'll still sound good. It'll save you a little bit of kilobit per second upload. Or you could use 128, which will sound great, or you could go way excessive, like 192, and sound amazing, but that'll take a lot of your bitrate setting. Keep in mind this bitrate setting by default is variable, so it can go anywhere from 50 all the way up to about, sometimes it might spike to 700 or 750 depending. So keep that in mind when you make your settings. Broadcast settings, which is where the important YouTube bit comes in. Ignore that because that's no longer valid. Not that anyone's likely to copy it down, but what you'll need to do is you'll need to set it to live stream mode, assuming you're live streaming, and custom because it does not support YouTube streaming by default or what have you. I don't think anything does. The server will be your RTMP, and this is where the live event page comes in, right here. There it is. When you make a live event, you'll see this. You'll need to go to encoder, click other encoder. Excuse me, it'll give you a stream name and a primary server URL. You'll need to take both of those. The primary server obviously goes here, the RTMP server. The playpath/stream key is the stream name. So this will be the, what is it, this YouTube Live, blah, 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 and then your ID. You'll notice it does this. It's just YouTube Live and then the event ID, which you can actually see up there as well. Copy that in. Whoops. Paste it in there. Click Auto Reconnect. I think that's default. All this should be default anyway. If you want to back up your live streams, YouTube will upload them for you automatically, but if you want to back them up to a file, you can click on this and set the file path, but quite frankly, you could just tell YouTube to keep it for you, and it'll, remove the need for that, but no. The video. This is confusing for some people because it has two resolutions here. It has a custom base resolution. At least, yeah, that's what it says. And then a resolution downscale. The resolution downscale is what your live stream will be broadcast at. You can see here. The base resolution is what OBS will be editable as. So set the base resolution as your monitor resolution. Set your resolution downscale as what you're broadcasting at. If you set the base resolution to, say, 640 by 360, this will be 640 by 360. It will be very small and you will be able to fit basically nothing on it, so it's not very helpful. FPS, you can go either 25, 29.97, or 30. If you can do 30, just do 30, save yourself some hassle. You can actually go all the way up to 60 or higher if you have a specific setting. But to be honest, 30 is good for live streams. You can go 60 if you feel like it. I don't know why you would, but audio. This is where your speakers and microphone, which those are the settings right here, similar to XSplit. Those are where those come in. Push those. You're going to push to talk, delay if you want that, mute, unmute, hotkeys, etc., etc. You can force it to mono. Mine's mono anyway, so it doesn't matter. In fact, most microphones are mono. And then you can set a boost multiplier. I recommend not doing a boost multiplier because that will create poor audio quality. I have issues talking today, apparently. And then you can set a mic time offset. This is really only usable, realistically anyway, is if you know you have a audio-video desync issue where your audio comes in a little bit later than the video, or earlier for that matter. I believe, yeah, you can go both directions on the offset. So that would be when you do that. You could do some testing, calculate how much the offset is, and then you can fix it with that and have the audio all synced up and good to go. And then advanced, no. You can change your processor priority, your x64 presets. If you don't have like say a second, third gen i7 or something like that, you cannot do fast, medium, or slow. It will just murder your processor. If you have an FX 8320 or 8350, I think you might be able to do fast. I haven't tried. I'm not pretty sure you can't do medium or slow. But usually, most people, I think it defaults to very fast. Most people who would like to stream, who tend to have higher end processors, you can generally go faster. That'll save you some bitrate because it'll compress the video a little bit. So if you're having issues with that, try it. See if you can run it faster without murdering a computer. You can set up custom settings. You need to know basically command line forms and stuff like that. As you can see there, VBV, max rate, etc., etc. If you don't worry about it. Here's the higher frame rate thing. Just click that if you need higher frame rate. These two, this is set frame rate, I believe. Constant frame rate, so it'll always play at a certain frame rate instead of varying. I don't see a use for that. And this is constant bit rate. This has very limited use. It's basically for people that have very specific usage limitations on their uploads. So you could set a constant bit rate so it doesn't go all willy-nilly. This will suffer quality issues because it will not be able to allocate more than what you've set. Of course, you could just set more and then use constant bitrate, but I recommend just leaving it variable. You can use higher quality audio resampling. It will take a little bit more CPU, use a little bit less bitrate, and give you a little bit higher quality. And then you can force audio to sync to video time. This has, XSplit has the same thing. It can cause issues. It can cause a lot of issues, actually, quite frankly, but it does tend to work fairly well, especially if you can't get the mic time offset thing going properly. You can give that a try and see how that works. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it'll just horribly butcher everything, but you know, give it a try. And then your network stuff is just IPs and latency and stuff like that. Generally, leave that default, don't mess with it. If you have specific things you need to do, you probably know what settings you need to put here anyway. So yeah, indeed. So that's the settings. Again, if you've forgotten how to set it up for YouTube, you have to go to Mode, Live Stream, Streaming Services, Custom. Your server is the RTMP, primary server. Playpath is your stream name, so the YouTube-live dot whatever the stream ID is. And then the rest of this is default on mine, so that'll get you streaming to YouTube Live with Open Broadcast software. All you have to do is click Start Streaming, and you're good to go. Obviously, make sure your crap is set up properly, but, you know, that's how that goes. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope that helped you out, and I'll see you next time.